They say that in your 20s, just experiment, experience, and take a lot of risk, and just like really put yourself out there. Even if you fail, you got time to pick it up again. Everybody, welcome back to the new episode of La Copy with Henri and Mike. Today is the 21st of November 2022. It is a Monday, and at the moment it's about 6:15 p.m.
Yep.
Mike, how are you?
Doing good. New week, new start. How about you? How's everything?
The espresso tastes delicious. I love it that, we're always mixing between the local or the Western kind of like Italian espresso or a different type of coffee there. So you kind of taste the different flavors there. How am I doing? I don't know, the time just always passes so quickly.
Yeah.
And the weekend just like kind of fly past very quickly. But I had a good weekend as well. I was just busy. Lots of things to do. And I did training as well. So Monday just passed by so quickly, and that's what we're trying to film right now. Yeah. But one thing is that we actually upgraded a lot of our equipment.
Yes.
Like there's a new tripod, a small little tripod there. We wanted to use the wireless microphone to start, so we can be a bit more flexible, but it just didn't work out. So we'll try it next time. So we're back to the traditional one. We're in Singapore. It's been raining quite often recently, but it's good, like kind of lower down the temperature a little bit. So you will appreciate the sunshine a bit more when you're outside.
Yep.
Okay, let's start with you, Mike. Do you have a word for this week?
No, I don't have a word, but one of the key things that I was thinking about was the fact that I'm 4 years late.
To what?
So recently I went around and then I realized that, Wakanda Forever, the Marvel superhero movie.
Right.
Is the
second movie was
out. Then everybody was trying to get over the ticket and go and watch it. And my friend was like, hey, Mike, do you want to go and watch? And I was like, I have not even watched the first one. And everybody was like,
you have not watched the first one?
Yeah. So because of that, over the weekend, I actually caught up on Disney Plus, the 2018 movie, Black Panther, basically, the first one. And I love it. I have been thinking about this movie for maybe the last 2 days, to see,
Wakanda Forever.
So that's why I say I'm 4 years late, you see, because the movie came out in 2018.
Is it really 2018?
2018.
Crazy.
Yeah, 2018. And we are 2022 now, right? So 4 years late. I was thinking like, why didn't I watch it back then? I can't recall why, but I'm glad I caught it now.
Yeah. What do you like about it?
I love his acting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very natural, and apparently he's American, but the way that he speaks in the movie is actually a Nigerian accent.
Don't freeze. I never freeze.
Yeah, and it's very thick and strong, and it took me a while to trying to fine-tune your
ear.
Yeah, to listen, to make out of it. Yeah, I was thinking that over the weekend, like what exactly can I learn from this, and is it still relevant nowadays? So these are the two things that came to my mind when I was thinking about it.
Okay.
And lesson-wise, I realized that yes, there's a few key moments in the movie that I love, and I felt I could associate with it, and I think it's worth bringing up. The first thing was when the main actor, Black Panther, T'Challa, right? So T'Challa's father passed on. When he first went to see his father in his so-called dream, or the bigger self at the time, in this African desert with like a very big tree, and the panther came down, that was his father. So that scene, he was very stressed out because he doesn't know how to be a new king. Yeah, and the dad, the father, the king that was passed on, he basically said that, haven't I taught you the whole time? You have been my successor, and you have been around me, looking at how I conduct things, and I have been trying to impart this to you. So you're basically learning by watching. Not doing, but learning by watching. So there's this part about the dad's responsibility. His main message to T'Challa was, don't forget about what I have taught you, the responsibility I had in trying to build you up and into who you are as a person, as a king that is supposed to be. So I thought that was a very powerful thing, because a lot of times, when I think about how we become a person who we are right now, at the very fundamental years, it will always be our parents, the responsibility they have in us. If parents don't really teach or guide you properly, then you will go astray. and that becomes a problem. The fundamental, yes, but later on, of course, you have your different exposures in life, like in your society, your work, or whatever else. They will train you to who you are. So I thought that the first thing was about parental guidance that the dad was talking about. And then when the story builds on, that led me to the second lesson that I thought was very useful, and that's basically don't be afraid to reject what was taught to you. So there was this scene where truth was revealed to T'Challa about his dad killing his uncle, the old king's brother. Yeah, and then truth came out and he couldn't take it. And then he was lost. And that's where T'Challa's ex-girlfriend Nakia came in to say, don't be afraid to lead your own life, decide to be what kind of king you want to be. In connection to the first point I was saying, parental guidance, and then rejecting what you think is not according to the worldview that you have or the values that think is not right. You correct that. You are brave enough to adapt and execute that. So I felt that these two things came up very strongly in the entire Black Panther original 2018 movie to me. Yeah, so that came up very strongly. Before this, I just thought that, do you have any reply to what I think about this?
I think the old king, basically what he was trying to say, like, long story short, just suck it out and do it.
yeah, true.
But he packaged in a very morally, very, inspirational kind of format. I mean, I do agree with that, yeah. But also think that it is your life. You have to decide what you want to do with it. Today, if you decide that you're not going to be king, it's fine, Yeah, you don't necessarily have to do that. But if you do feel that responsibility on your shoulder, why not give it a go? You got to wear those really cool outfits and with the technology. And then you got to use, what's it called? Vibranium?
Yeah, vibranium. Yeah, that's the purple color stone metal that they have in Wakanda.
Yeah, I think we should all be responsible for our life, like how you lead your life. And I think it's a very good movie. And I was just kind of surprised that it has been 4 years already, because I remember I watched it on a plane. I can't remember where I was flying from, where to where, but I watched it on the plane. And recently there's a new one coming out, so I want to watch it. And a mate of mine was saying that he went to watch, it was like 3 hours something. And he said it's really good though. So it's definitely worth it. Maybe we should go and watch it together.
Yes, now I have watched the first one, we can catch the second one together and then we can discuss more about it. But I really loved the first one so much. And the trigger was really about T'Challa when he went back, the second time when he went to see his dad. And his dad's like, it's time for you to join us, basically saying that, oh, you're dead, join us as the ancestors. And T'Challa was like, no goddamn way, man, you screw it up and I am not going to let this happen. And Wakanda would die because of T'Challa's cousin. There was actually a new so-called king, temporary king, that he thought that he would destroy the entire Wakanda. So he wanted to set things straight and right. And that contrast was so huge about his dad's way of leading. The worldview of how he wants Wakanda to be versus T'Challa's version. And that really set me thinking so hard about the first 2 points I was saying. So I think that was really the trigger behind it that draw that lesson out for me.
Do you think you will apply that in your real life?
I think so. I think as I move on further in life, right now in the 30s, a lot of times I'm always at a crossroad because a lot of people start to challenge, your understanding about things, your opinion. You would then come back to yourself like, what's my worldview? What's my values? How do I want to approach this particular thing? In any topics that we talk about. And that is crucial because T'Challa at the very start was not sure. He's insecure of how to lead. But when he started to lead, he finds his own way. His objective is to make Wakanda a great nation and make sure the people are peace and loving and great, prosper basically. So I think in our own fair share of life, we also have to take the lead to be the leader of who you want to be and take charge of your life. And you got to be
for your life,
so you got to get clearer. It's okay not to be clear right now, but as you move on, step by step, you got to keep asking yourself, this yes, no, and then path dependency will set in, and then you'll probably find out. You go through a lesson and extract the values, the wisdom out of it. So I think that's the very first thing that I love about Black Panther.
What you're talking right now. This week, the past week, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, during the commute time. So one of them kind of similar, kind of aligned to what you just say. So I'll share this with you. So one of these Canadian, he was doing like a street interview on the street of Toronto in Canada, I think. And he has a Lebanese background. So his parents immigrated there when they were young.
Okay.
And he was born there. So he's just doing all this interview on the street, and he goes to random people who are older than him. I think he's about his 20s or something.
Okay.
So he asks people just like this. He say, how old are you? So that's the first question. And everyone's kind of like got a bit stunned, like, why do you ask this kind of question? But most of the people answered.
Okay.
So the main question he asked was like, for instance, someone say that I'm at the age of 71, I'm at the age of 89, I'm at the age of 54, I'm at the age of 40 something. So there's different range of age being pronounced. After that, he asked, so how does it feel to be at your age right now? From a 20 years old something, an interviewer who asked an interviewee who are above 40 years old to the range of 80 something.
Okay.
And most of them answer that they feel very comfortable with their life where they are, like mentally and physically. Of course, there are some people whereby the way they answer is a bit more negative, but it depends on their life situation experiences. But most of the people that he interviewed has a very positive outlook in life. They say that, if anything else would be changed in the past, what would that be? And also, like, is there a period of time in your past that you would like to relive again? A number of them actually say that no, they don't want to do that because that's where you have become who you are as today. And the second kind of question, a second kind of answer was more like, I would like to relive my early 20s. A lot of them would say that. And then he came to a conclusion when you listen to so many different answers is that in the early 20s, you have lots of energy, you want to try a lot of things. But all these older people, when you ask them, like, what are the advice you would like to give to 20 years old, like younger generation than them? They say that if they would do it again and give the advice to the new generation, they say that in your 20s, just experiment, experience, and take a lot of risk and just like really put yourself out there. Even if you fail, you got time to pick it up again. Because a lot of them also say that, when you're 30 and 40, that's when you work the hardest in your career, in your family, you have to take care of your babies, or you have different relationships and stuff like that. I think that's probably where we are right now, like 30s and going to our 40s some years later. Probably that's what we're going through. Like, there's always a lot of things going on, and you're trying to get somewhere for your career, to have a bit more money, to save up more, to invest more, or even to plan for a new family, for instance. Things like that. So a lot of things going on. You need to put different hats to gather those responsibilities. Because most of the time, interviewers say that, when they are above 50, they kind of say they feel really comfortable with who they are right now. They no longer care about what other people think about them or say about them. They just feel comfortable mentally and physically.
And that's great. It's great for them.
It's great for them. So, for us who are younger, listening to all these interviews, for me, it gives me certain kind of comfort. I can just say it myself, like what I'm doing right now, there are hurdles, there are challenges, but at the same time, I'm also enjoying what I'm doing. We're doing the podcast filming, we're doing different filming outdoor, and also, traveling here and there, spending time with your loved ones, to be in Singapore with summer, and I was in Europe recently, and things like that. I mean, when I look back on what I have right now, I feel fortunate, I get to experience that. Of course, there are things whereby I want to get to, certain goals and stuff like this. But I think this is where it comes in. I think I have the word for this week. It's like to be slow, to really enjoy the process of what we're going through. Because for me, for instance, daily, in a daily basis, I have my to-do list. And I want to finish as many as possible.
Oh, my to-do list come out again. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so a lot of time, I know. So a lot of time I really kind of feel I'm very stressed out. You get what I mean? Yeah. But if I don't do it, I can't move on. You get what I mean? Like certain things will get stuck. So I have to always make sure I plan it properly and then execute that on a daily basis. So that's why I was thinking, like, how can I make sure that I have this slow implementation to my life? For instance, doing the me time. Like every morning when I go to CrossFit, that I consider as a me time. It is always tough to go through the workout of the day.
True.
But once I finish it, I feel a sense of accomplishment that I have done something for myself today, at least my physical being, and then I'll move on to something for my mind, something for my soul. But that's always not easy. So I think you always go through this kind of thing as days goes by. You just have to learn how to juggle with it. But then keep in mind how you can implement this slow movement into your life. For instance, sit down, have a cup of espresso and really savor the bitterness or the flavor of the coffee beans. things like this, because there's just so many things happening in life. Sometimes you just can't control everything.
I kind of agree as you're saying this. Let me just try to push the point a bit further in extension in relation to Black Panther as well. T'Challa, the sister, is called Shuri, right?
Yeah.
So she's young and she's a technological genius in the movie itself. So there's this famous saying where she said, which I think is very relevant. Something is working doesn't mean that you shouldn't improve it. So tying back to those who are 50s, 60s, or maybe 40s, they have tried and tested what they want, what they do not want, eliminate those that do not want, and then now they work on what they want. As you go, you become comfortable. But like what Shuri said in Black Panther, the movie itself, always try to improve. What's working doesn't mean that you cannot improve. So there's this famous wisdom that goes around saying that just improve 1% every single day. In a year, you can accomplish a lot. So that compounding effect, I think is very similar.
James Clear, Atomic Habits, mentioned that 1% every day.
Correct. I mean, James Clear said it, but there's a lot of other people also mention it as well. Mathematically, it's proven as well, just using mathematical formula. So I think tying back to sum up what you said, I think that is very relevant, You can be comfortable, but always try to grow a bit. Just a little bit. You can take it slow, it's fine. Today you have 10 things. Maybe today is a good day, I finished 10. Today it's not a good day, maybe I just finished 1. But yeah, that's the 1%. So I think that kind of example probably can sum up what you mentioned about this, tying to what I've watched over the weekend about Black Panther.
A lot of them is really about balancing. I think that 1% is a great idea, but when you're actually doing it, you really need to battle with your ego a lot.
You gotta whip yourself
Exactly. I mean,
do it, man.
I face my ego every single morning when I go for workout of the day. I was wondering, should I put more weight so I can lift more and grow more muscle and become stronger and build my foundation, or should I risk that moment, that split seconds to do that, but then I get injury? You know what I mean? So moments like this, I will really have to think hard, but in a quick format, just to make that decision right. But it also applies to everywhere else, in our daily task. For instance, YouTube, what we're doing right now. So much so that I want it to grow, but then it just taking its time. So I think a lot of things happening in life, it just takes time for it, and you have to learn how to be patient with it, the whole process, and savor the whole journey.
Audience out there, when you're watching this, please help Henri and Mike click the subscribe button, turn on the notification. We will appreciate it a lot, really.
Yeah, and we will upload one episode every single week, so you get to see what Henri and Mike are doing, be it in Singapore or around the world. There's actually some traveling coming out, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to Melbourne. Yeah, first holiday in 2 years. Yeah.
Crazy. You have not been on an airplane for a long time, no?
2 years, ever since pandemic.
Really?
The last time we went out was just right smack before the pandemic.
To Japan, wasn't it?
To Japan as a family. So this time around, another one to Melbourne. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
I hope to go to Japan soon. It's such a lovely country.
Yeah, it's open already. We have been talking about this for so long, and a lot of my friends start to go back last month, I think.
But you need a time. You need a time for it, to be honest. Like, you can't just do Japan for a few days. You need some, at least 2 weeks, and you'll really feel satisfied.
I was just sharing with mom this afternoon when we were out, and then I was just showing her, hey, look at the Instagram, Nozawa Onsen. Oh, it's snowing again. It's until the height of the the street sign again. And she's like, oh, I miss those days so good. I was like, oh yeah, me too. I would love to go back, really.
Actually, Mei, our cousin, she just moved back recently to Japan, right?
Yeah, I think she's, I don't know which city she's in now.
Kyushu, Kyushu. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to visit her again, our once a year kind of pilgrimage to Japan.
Pilgrimage.
And it's always nice to spend time with Mei. Anyway, and I'm going to Thailand in 2 weeks' time.
Less than that. Less than that, really.
Yeah, I need to get my act together to really sit down and plan what I want to do and stuff like that.
Okay, cheers. To a wonderful 2 weeks to a month ahead.
You too.
Cheers.
Cheers. ASMR. Okie dokie. I have the word for this week. Mine is slow. How about yours?
Marvel. I know it's a bit cliche, but Marvel in terms of the movie Black Panther is a Marvel series, but at the same time you're trying to make a life Marvel, marvelous. So Marvel for me. Yeah.
So we have 2 words for this week, and they are Marvel and slow. With that, we come to a conclusion of this week's episode. We hope that you enjoy listening through Spotify or watching us through YouTube. So wherever you are, be kind to yourself, don't forget to smile and always keep each other company. And this is Henry.
This is Mike. Signing off.
Yeah, we shall see you in the very next episode. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Cheers. And wherever you are, okay, one more time. Wherever you are, do not forget to smile, keeping each other company, and
Don't forget to smile.
I said that already.
Be kind to yourself.
Okay, one more time. Okay.
Cheers.